All right, so these videos are for a certain type of guy. A lot of these videos are for me, trying to figure things out, trying to work through things in order to live the best life I can possibly live. But by extension, these are for men in the arena. So Theodore Roosevelt gave this great speech about it's not the critic who counts, but it's the man in the arena marred by the dust and sweat and blood. So you can opt out of the games of life. You can choose not to compete, think you're above them, better than them. I don't agree with that whatsoever. Because I think men are born and bred with the capacity to win in various areas of life. Our interests, what we like, dictates the games we ought to play. Some of us like business, so that's a game we should play. Some of us are purely wealth, some of us purely relationships, sports, the physical aspect of life. I think each man should be playing multiple games. And if you choose to play a game, which is being a man in the arena, then you ought to win that game. So how do you win the games of life? It's actually pretty simple, or it appears to be pretty simple. The more I learn, the more I see how simple life actually is, and it's complicating things, adding things that complicates life or that makes it difficult to figure out what we ought to do. So when you're talking about winning the games of life, you aren't going to win anything if you're not disciplined. If you don't have impulse control, if you can't say no to the bad things and yes to the good things. The good things are judged by your long-term goals. The bad things are typically judged by short-term desires or pleasures. Bad things are watching TV, being lazy, eating junk food, porn, sex with too many loose women, whatever. There's quick, immediate dopamine hits that reinforce this behavior, and then drug use. Drug use is an immediate desire, immediate pleasure that you get that dopamine release, you get those endorphins, you get these chemical reactions in your body, and that reinforces that this behavior is good. Eating junk food is a quote unquote addictive thing that can lead you down a rabbit hole of obesity and being lazy and fat and useless. So immediate desires, if you don't have impulse control, you're not going to achieve anything. So that's something that you can practice right away. If you want to win life's various games, practice discipline. Simple. Get up early, do things that you don't quote unquote like to do until you like them. Pretend that you like them. Cold showers, run in the morning, lift in the morning, eat disciplined food. Intermittent fasting I like because it's a form of restriction. Any form of restriction is typically a good thing. Read versus TV. And without discipline, without impulse control, you're not going to win any life's games. And life is about winning the games you choose to play so you can then be free of them. Second, detach from people and things. So this is something I'm trying to work my head around, but people attach their happiness, what they think they want in life, to people and things. Every purchase I've made has been disappointing except for my dogs. Dogs are a special kind of category that you're basically buying unconditional love, which cannot be a bad decision unless you're a truly shitty person. But every other thing that I've bought that I attached happiness to, that I thought would bring me happiness and joy, even though some of them are good, truck is a good purchase because it's great for the dogs, great for long trips, great for owning a house. House is a good purchase because I like it, I like my office, I like these whatever things, but they still disappoint. They didn't give the happiness that you think they'll give, because that's not what gives happiness. Happiness is, and it should exist while you're playing the games. The journey, the playing of the games in life, the wealth game, the success game, the health game, the relationship game, the family game, the fatherhood game, all these different games should be played with joy as the constant, because it's the playing of games that we're alive. We're here to compete. Men are here to compete. We're here to try to better ourselves every day. And you can get lost in the sadness and weakness and pity and depression that you're not are where you want to be, which is absolute weakness. I get caught up in that idea, I'm not where I am. I wish things were different. It's just self-pity wrapped in different costumes. You should love the struggle. You should be happy in the struggle. You should be happy in the strife. Those are the greatest times in your life, when your back's against the wall and you're really fighting. So detachment, back to detachment. We attach happiness to things and people, which is a losing battle. People aren't going to make you happy. If you can lose something, it can't make you happy. People aren't going to make you happy. Your wife isn't going to make you happy. Your kids aren't going to make you happy. They're going to bring a lot of joy into your life, but they're living their own lives. You lead them, you guide them, you love them unconditionally, but they're living their own lives and you've got to live yours. You see the result of grown-ass men who attach their happiness to their kids, and they want their kids to be something that they weren't, that they never achieved, and they end up being horrible parents as a result. Good parents live their own lives and they do the best they can for their kids. You don't attach happiness to people or things. That's how you best play the games. You don't attach happiness or meaning or self-worth even to the things you're trying to attain. So while you're playing these games and you're trying to win them, you can't fool yourself into thinking that winning the game will give you the meaning or happiness or joy that you crave, that you think life is all about. Because meaning and happiness are created in the processes more than they're created in the outcomes. So when we're playing these games, you gotta have the goal, which I'm gonna talk about in a sec. You gotta have the goal, but then you gotta detach from the goal and focus on the process. So then goals. I don't think goals are good if they're small. You need something to excite you, to motivate you. You need to be conquering something big because that's who men are. We're here to conquer big things. When you're a kid, you're dreaming about freaking being the best in whatever thing interests you. We go so far as to be the best athlete in the world. We dream about that. And then we dream about, being the most powerful person in the world. I liked reading about Napoleon and different things like that when I was a kid because they did the unthinkable. He essentially became the emperor of the country that conquered his country when he was a kid, which is mind-boggling. That's like freaking, what's a modern day example? That's like a kid from Puerto Rico growing up to become not president, the emperor. If you're gonna play the games, you play to win, and you win a big game. We're here to reach our potential. That's a game we're playing. Our potential is a game we're playing. We're trying to reach that. It's a game we'll never win, but we're trying to reach our potential. We have no clue how great our potential is. Imagine if you did the right thing every single day for the rest of your life. Imagine if you took the right action, had the discipline, all that stuff. We have no comprehension. We can't comprehend how great we can be. So you have to set massive goals just to do yourself justice. That's the goal setting aspect of playing the games of life. Finally, you win the game of games you choose to play in life, oddly enough, by smelling the roses as you go on, as you live. Technically, we're all winning our games in life simply by the fact that we're alive. The odds of being alive are the trillions. And as I think about what am I going to regret when I'm older, when I'm 80, when I'm 90, it's probably going to be the not smelling the roses, the not appreciating the times where your back is against the wall. Because in the past, when I've had my back against the wall, when things were truly dark, those are freaking amazing moments because you figure shit out. You figure out who you are, what's important in life. You really simplify things. And if I'm 80 or 90 or 100, whatever, I'm gonna look back and kind of probably wish I had stopped to smell the roses, stopped to appreciate life how it is, gave myself permission to be happy even while I'm pursuing greater things. So winning the games of life are full of dichotomies. You set massive goals, then you release yourself from the goals and focus on the process. You try to win these games while understanding that winning these games isn't gonna bring you what you think it's gonna bring you. You try to achieve things, but you also ignore that pursuit so you can be present and do what you can do in the moment. And I'm gonna do more videos like this because I'm a man in the arena, you're a man in the arena. We choose to play these games. We choose to be the best dads we can be. I'm not a dad, but we choose to be the best men we could be. We choose to be as wealthy as we could be, as successful as we could be, as strong as we can be, as healthy as we can be. And so there's different ways of looking at these games that will help us win. And we win right now by choosing to play the biggest games possible, by focusing on the process, by stopping to smell the roses, by appreciating where we are, even if our back is against the wall and we're failing. It's a part of life, and it's a good part of life. So I'll do more videos like this. I set up this business. I'm trying to figure out the story of like why I set up this business, this channel, like all these different things. It's kind of for that man in the arena. It's kind of trying to figure out on my own how to best live, and then hopefully figure it out on camera, figure it out in print, figure it out in different things that I'll build or whatever. And then hopefully, someone can get some benefit from these videos. And again, this video, I'm talking to myself a lot with this. I'm not trying to tell people how to live or whatever. I'm just, these things that I've found to be true, reinforcing them to myself, working through some problems in my own head. And I think other guys have these same issues, especially if you're ambitious, especially if you're in the arena. If you're one of those guys who is content being lazy, who's content being fat, who's content being weak, who's content being devious and immoral, you know that these videos aren't for you. They're not going to talk to you. You're going to comment below with some, not everyone wants to be like blah, 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 all that bullshit. That's not for you. These are for guys who are trying to win in life and be at our best in the various games we choose to play. And if you get something from the video, appreciate it, like and subscribe. And any questions you have, please ask them down below. Anything you want covered, ask it down below. Got a lot of health and testosterone and that kind of stuff, content coming out, because I think that's a good foundation for men. If you're not healthy, if you're not strong, you're not going to win a lot of these other games. So that's a great foundation to build upon. I could add that as number 4 or 5. If you want to win the games of life, if you want to win the various games of life, have a strong foundation. And a strong foundation is a strong, healthy, energetic body. Energy comes from multiple things. If you're healthy, that's a great source of energy. If you're excited, that's a great source of energy. If you're happy, that's a great source of energy. Anger can be a great source of energy. I don't think stress, worry, fear are great sources of energy because they dissipate. They end up making you tired long term. So be happy while you're in pursuit of greater things, because that will give you a greater source of energy than being, fearful that you're not going to achieve the outcome. Doesn't mean you can have confidence in yourself, but also doubt that you can achieve the outcome, because that'll make you work. That's different. It doesn't need to exist. You can be happy throughout. So if you want to win the games of life, follow those steps and get after it. Enjoy the process, aim high, and work your ass off. Have the discipline. Without the discipline, everything falls apart. Take care.